Diane in Denmark here, rah rah rah. I've got a short Hygge video for you today, but let me get the timer started. As usual, it's fine if you're on here on a break, or maybe you're here for a wee bit of Hygge or motivation. The main thing is that you don't sit too long watching YouTube videos, because we all have to be on and doing things. Now, normally when I make a Hygge video, I'm sitting through in the living room in my favourite reading chair. So I've come through here and I've made it all Hygge. I've got the candles going in our old fireplace. And before you ask, no, we don't use this one. It is a working fireplace. The chimney sweep, he checks it once a year when he checks the wood burning stove that we've got. But it's too close to the dining table here to actually work as a good method of heating the room. We've got really good heating here now. So I put candles in it just to make it look Hygge, and I've got the candles going in the background, so we are top Hygge today. Also, I'm going to be going through my library basket, tell you what I've been reading recently, books and magazines, and also, because it all kind of comes under the heading of Hygge, I've got my granny's wee sewing basket. This is a sewing basket my granny gave to me. I keep this in the living room, and if I've got some small repairs to do, I take it out, and that's a little Hygge moment. I always feel like I'm like something from Little House on the Prairie when I'm sitting there with my little sewing basket and doing repairs. I'll tell you what I've been doing there, and we're going to quickly talk about Christmas. And I know you're all going to say, whoa, it's too early. Just a few ideas and what's going to be coming up. So anyway, let's dive into my basket from the library. I've told you before, I don't buy books. I get all my books from our local library. Also magazines. I stopped all the magazine subscriptions. It's a lot of money. If you're still getting magazine subscriptions and newspaper subscriptions, are you actually reading them? Because if not, that is a great way to save money. Just stop them. Stop this video and go and cancel them right now. Anyway, I promised I would check in with you because I've done a lot of reading recently because the weather has been it's been quite Hygge outside. We're really into autumn now. But I'll tell you, hold on, let me see if I can bring you down a wee bit. There we are, there we go. A few things, hold on. I actually had to look on my Goodreads account because I'd kind of forgotten what I've read since last time we checked in with you. My husband reads a completely different genre of books from me, but he's always on the lookout for stuff from me. He's very sweet. And he had sent me an article, I think it was from The Guardian, about alternatives to reading Agatha Christie. If you're looking for, if you ploughed through all the Agatha Christies, like I had, some older things. And I've read 3 of the 4 from the list. I could get all 3 of them from our local Danish library. One was Ruth Rendell, A Judgment in Stone. It's quite an interesting little mystery, but I'm not too into Ruth Rendell. But that was quite interesting. It's very much of its time. It's a bit like a kind of midsummer murder mystery. If you ever watched that on the TV. About the upper class and this one, I've just started it. Now this is by Josephine Tay. It's called The Daughter of Time. Now this was nominated, if I remember rightly, back in 1990 by some kind of association as the best detective novel of all time. Now that's high praise to live up to. That's the cover of the book. It's just that they actually had to get it from the downstairs in the library where they put things away, when they're not normally out on the shelves. But my local library had it. So I'm reading that at the moment, and I'll let you know. It's all about a detective who's actually in hospital with a problem with his back, and he's solving a mystery from 100 years previously. So I'll let you know how I get on with that one. Also on the list of 4 books that were an alternative to Agatha Christie, this one, also an old book, Vanish in an Instant by Margaret Miller. Now, if I remember rightly, Margaret Miller is, there's a picture of her. She's Canadian, and it was quite an interesting little murder mystery. But very much of its time. These are old ones, and they don't really stand up to the test of time, and they're not in the same league as Agatha Christie. But quite interesting, and maybe if you're Canadian, you'll know Margaret Miller. I think her husband was an author too. Right, and on on to the kind of usual things that I read. Now, since last time, you know I love Ellie Griffiths. Here we are, Ellie Griffiths. Now, she has 3 different series, and I know a lot of you have started reading ones about Ruth, who is an archaeologist in the UK, a modern archaeologist, and she solves crimes along with somebody from the police. And I've read most of the Ruth archaeologist series. I've also read all of the Max and Mephisto series. This is from Max and Mephisto series, and they're always good. It's always that kind of, you know, whenever I read an Ellie Griffiths, it's the same old, just different people in different circumstances. But that's what I like about it. Like with Agatha Christie, you can just kind of lean back, put the blanket over your legs, and you're kind of back in the same place again. It's that's what gives me the Hygge feeling, just being in the same, you know, the same environment again. So this one was really good, Vanishing Box. And the other ones that I had read, hold on, let me just open up, because I had just opened it here. Because I read some other, right, okay, yeah, another one I read by Ellie Griffiths that I talked to you about last time. I was just starting it. Oh, hold on. Why has it done that? Hold on, let me see if I can bring it up. Okay, here we go. I read The Stranger Diaries. Now that was a kind of one-off for Ellie Griffiths. I don't know if it's going to be a series, but I quite enjoyed it. It was quite an interesting read. And then I read another Ellie Griffiths, The Chalk Pit. Again, I don't know if you can see that. I enjoyed that one, and I'm kind of in the queue at the library for all the new ones that she brings out. And also I read another one of the Sophie Hannah. Can you see that there? She's the lady that's been allowed to write modern Hercule Poirot mysteries, you know, in the style of Agatha Christie. The Agatha Christie estate has allowed her to write those. And they're quite good. I'm enjoying kind of reading a new Hercule Poirot. So, and all of these I've got 3 or 4 stars. And then I mentioned to you about the Ruth Rendell, yeah, so I'm up to date with that. And the other ones that I've got at the library recently, which are not, you know, kind of novels, at this time of year I really like to get cookbooks, and I don't know why, it's that kind of nesting instinct that, well, I want to cook something different. And this was quite a good one that I've got at the library. And you know, my family's really into Asian food. We got that Jennifer Joyce book that you've seen me cooking lots of things from. So this one was a good one. And you'll also remember that my bookmarks, I keep my bookmarks in my library basket, are all things that I picked up, you know, when I pick up when we're on holiday. These are all ones from our last trip to Japan. So that was quite good. And I've also got, I always grab a few magazines. Magazines are nice to leaf through, but you can see that every time you pick up a magazine, even if it's from last year, it's the same themes that go again and again. So really try not to waste your money on magazines. If you can get them at a clothes swap, or if you can get them, you know, pass them on to a friend, pick one up at your local doctor's office, you know, and instead of spending money on it the whole time. Now, the other 2 things I was going to tell you, let me just set reset timer for 5 minutes, because I don't like to keep you sitting here, you know, because you want to go off and do your own Hygge. I told you I had my granny's sewing basket out, and I did a declutter the other day of clothes. You saw me when we were in Flylady Zone cat in the bedroom, and I told you that I was decluttering this sweater, which is not a great colour for me, and it's kind of shrunk a bit in the wash, and there it was. But at a Swedish charity shop, and that was the other thing I was going to tell you. You know, those of you who are outside Scandinavia think that we all kind of speak the same language in Scandinavia, but actually Swedish and Norwegian and Danish are all very different. We have a lot of common words, but there are some things which are a wee bit different, and I was just going to mention to you, in Denmark, our second-hand shops, they are called recycling shops. They're called genbrugsbutiker. And in Sweden, they actually call it second-hand. They use the British word or the English word, second-hand. So there's a wee cultural difference for you, for anybody who's interested in Scandinavian stuff. because I was asking my Swedish teacher about it, how to say genbruksbutiker, and I was thinking återvinnings, because återvinning is the Swedish word to recycle. And she said, no, it's second hand, that's what we call it. So there we go. Anyway, I picked up this sweater, which is the same brand as this one, and it's in a really good Dressing Your Truth Type 1 dual coloured purple. Now this is perfect for me. What I didn't like about it was it has the same, or it had, past tense, it had the same buttons as this one. But what I did was, and it's a larger size, which is good because I want to wear it as more like a jacket, a long cardigan. So I've just used my wee seam ripper thing. You know, I've got a wee seam ripper that I keep in my little sewing basket here, and I've taken off the buttons so you can't see them, so it looks more kind of streamlined. And you know, in Dressing Your Truth system, I'm a type 1-4, so I like things. My secondary is 4, so I like kind of clean lines, bigger jewellery, more contrast, stuff like that. So I've taken off the buttons, so it gives it a kind of cleaner line. You see nice straight lines here, nice straight lines in the pockets. And I've also just quickly sewn up the buttonholes so you can't see them. You'll see on this one with the buttonholes, you know, once you've used buttonholes a few times, they get a wee bit kind of slouchy, and you can see they are open. There we go. So all I've done is I've sewn up the buttonholes, taken off the buttons, and it makes it more like a little jacket for me. And what I'm planning to do is that I can use it over lots of different tops, and I am planning to belt it, say with a gold belt or maybe a blue belt. So there we go. So don't be afraid to change things up. Maybe you've got something in your wardrobe that, you know, just doesn't look right. Well, I don't know about me at the moment, but I'm kind of taking buttons off everything. You've seen this white jacket. I mean, I wear this white jacket a lot, but it annoyed me that I had a big brown button on the front. Now, brown is okay for a type 1. Here's the button. I put it in the pocket just so I would show you. Here's the button, and it's a really nice, clean white lines jacket. But I had this button there, and it really annoyed me, so I took it off. I never fasten my jacket. Who fastens their jacket? I don't know. I left the ones on the cuffs because I think that looks all right. But I just took off the jacket, and lo and behold, I'm much happier with it. So don't be afraid, you know, if you've got stuff that you've been hanging on to and you're just not wearing it because, like I got a pair of really nice pink, type 1 pink mum jeans, you know, the mom jeans that are quite big up here, but they were kind of too wide at the bottom, and I just took them right in. Didn't even measure it, just eyeballed it and took them in my sewing machine. So maybe you can spend a wee Hygge time this week, get your sewing basket out, dust off your sewing machine, and, you know, set your timer for 15 minutes and do you know, maybe you have to do some repairs. And the last thing I'm going to tell you, and then I shall let you go on your merry way, ho ho ho, Christmas coming up. Yeah, and I tell you all the time that I never buy any books. There are some books though that I do like to have, and actually probably only one series, and that's Andrea Camilleri. Rest in peace, he died earlier this year, and I love the Camilleri books, and I have a little tradition now going here that when a new Camilleri comes out, just stop the timer, when a new Camilleri comes out, I buy it, and I got it the other day, and I get the family to wrap it up and put it away, and this is going to be a Christmas present for me. And you may think, well, why are you buying it? It's all that kind of looking forward to things that they're, and I love knowing that I'm going to get this on Christmas Day, and then on Boxing Day, the next day, or Christmas Day, I'm going to be able to read it and really Hygge and enjoy it. So, you know, start looking out for things, even if you're not going to buy it right now. If there's something that kind of pops up, maybe there are books on Hygge, or books on knitting, or not necessarily books, just anything come. Start writing them down on a list, put it into your control journal, so that when we come up to Christmas or whatever you celebrate, and the family says, you know, do you have any wishes, that you've got something to tell them, because all too often it's, you know, Muggins who's going around buying for everybody else, but we don't actually stop and say, you know, is there something that we would like, whether it's a hand cream or an LP that you've been wanting to add to your collection. Just start looking out for things, because next month, I think it's in week 43, whatever that is, so like the 3rd week of October, the Flylady will be starting the Cruising Through the Holidays missions, getting ready for Christmas. So anyway, just a wee shout out just now. If there's something that you would like to have and want to put on your wish list, get that done now. So on that note, I'm going to extinguish the candles, get a bit of air in this place, and I'll get back to the family. So anyway, live long and prosper. May the Danish Hygge be with you, and I shall see you very soon. Okay, bye for now.